3, 2, 1. Amy. Hey everyone, welcome to K-Drama Hangout, your weekly review into your favorite K-dramas, episode by episode. I'm Kat, and with me I have Sarai and Melody.
Hi!
Alright, so today we'll be discussing The Scholar Who Walks the Night, also known as Power and Zombies, episodes 11 and 12. If you missed our review for episode 9 and 10, please check out the link in the description box below.
Okay, so in episode 11, Yang-sung is dealing with her guilt of her father passing away. So she feels like she is to blame, and her mother and sister have officially left her all alone. Sung-yeol convinces her that ultimately her father loved her and would never blame her for what happened to him. As Yang-sung says goodbye to her father, Sung-yeol also finally says goodbye to Myung-hui. Later in the episode, Yang-sung voices to Sung-yeol that she wanted to keep the journal as the last memory of her father, but because it holds the key to killing Gui, she just holds on to the memories. In return, he ends up giving her the box that came with the journal, which we know is the second part to the box set of The Prince. As the Prince and Sung-yeol both continue to try and find the missing parts of the puzzle to get rid of Gui, they come across Hunter Beck, who once stood alongside the previous Prince Sadong in the fight against Gui. However, he wants to kill Sung-yeol because he believes Sung-yeol is an evil vampire who killed Jin's father 10 years ago. Also, the prince has been turned against Sung-yeol by his grandfather, the king, for the sole purpose that he too is a vampire and must be like Gui. So in episode 12, we continue with the prince and Sung-yeol arguing in the woods and Yang-sung stumbling upon them. The prince realizes that Yang-sung is working together with Sung-yeol. Hunter Beck begins working with the prince in killing Gui, and also Yang-sung begins questioning her strange vampire dreams as the prince begins to wonder if Yang-sung is Jin. As the episode continues, the prince and his mother come to find out that Hye-rung is his future wife. The king wants to kill Gui on their wedding night, believing that this is the only way. And Gui visits Ki-sang house, where Soo-hyung lives, and asks for her help in finding Sung-yeol. Soo-hyung claims that she doesn't know Sung-yeol well, but that if she were to see him at the place again, she would let him know. However, Gui is very suspicious of Sung-yeol. Immediately after, Sung-yeol gets word of this and goes and talks to the prince and explains to him everything, gaining his trust. The prince then helps Sung-yeol meet the king to explain the secrets of the journal. He begs the king to help him find the maternal lineage, but the king burns the paper asking him to destroy Gui through his plan. Sung-yeol accepts, and the plan to kill Gui takes off at the wedding celebration of the prince and Hye-rung. Things go from bad to worse as the hunters are killed one by Gui, and Sung-yeol manages to save the hunter Beck, who then tells him that the maternal lineage is Sojing, also known as Yang-sung. Wow. So, from these two episodes, what are your OMG moments?
My OMG moments weren't necessarily like along with the plot. It was just like finally realizing that the scar that we were talking about on Young Sun in previous reviews, we were talking about her scar, and we were like, oh my goodness, what if a werewolf comes into this? It was just realizing finally that the scar is from her dad, where her dad tried to kill her whenever he was turned into a vampire. So, no werewolves in this story, Sarai. You'll be happy.
God! Thank God!
And then when Hunter Bake was first came across Sung-yeol like in his home or whatever, like Sung-yeol went and found Hunter Bake, and Hunter Bake was like, oh, you're just rummaging through my stuff and I know who you are, and starts fighting him. And I was like, okay, he's a human. Like, how is he actually semi-holding his own against a freaking vampire right now. Like, I was a little bit, I mean, that kind of took me out of the story for a second. I was like, that doesn't make any sense because Sungyo is a vampire and can just, like, crush a mere human with one little fist, you know? So, I don't know. I was kind of like, whatever. At that point, I was like, gotta roll with it sometimes.
Yeah. Kat, do you have any OMG moments?
I have like a few. So one of my moments, and it wasn't just like it wasn't really an OMG, it was just an observation. So when Song gets shot by the hunter dude with like the metal bullet in his arm, like his arm or whatever, he goes back to the house, and of course he's like bleeding because like he got shot. And so if you look at the girl's humboldt, she has a blood stain when she's helping him. But then as soon as she leaves the room, it's like completely clean
Yeah.
as if she didn't do anything. And I'm just like, but you just but the blood.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
And so I was really confused on that. But like, okay, so when they, so near the end, I think I forgot what episode, but like Songyar and Young Sun were having like the discussion in the book room about how they kind of like they both acknowledge they have feelings for each other, right? And of course, Sue Chung, the like his female apprentice person that I've been calling like his henchman or whatever, but she overhears it, and you could see like she's just like so frustrated and heartbroken that I thought like that was her breaking point. So whenever like we came to the Kisang house, I thought she would be like, yes, like he's here. Like I thought she was gonna spill her like guts out because she was so like hurt by it. But then she was like, oh no, I haven't seen him, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, whoa, I want to be like you. Like you just, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Remember like last week, I said that I really hope that she's a good person. I still believe that, but she was really annoying in these 2 episodes.
Yes, yes.
She was so annoying. I just wanted to come into that screen and be like, shut up!
Yes, thank you. Okay, that was another one of my oh my gosh moments for episode 12. Because at one point, I guess it's when she overhears Sungyul and Youngsun talking like in the library or whatever, and you see like her jealousy on her face and like her distraughtness, and I literally was just like, oh my gosh, this lady, like get over it. Like this whole time, you've known this whole time that they've got feelings for each other, that he's told you all along, like I don't think of you that way, and I'm like, at this point, it's like get over it, like accept it and move on. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so annoyed by her. Like, I straight up in my notes I put she's getting on my nerves. Get over it. And but before that, Hyeong set up that whole scene where she takes an arrow for the prince. I was like, oh my gosh, this little girl playing this up, like the guy that shot the arrow was her man, and the prince even says, if it had been a little deeper, your life would have been in danger. And I thought, yep, that's how it was supposed to be, like just enough to pierce her, but not hard enough to actually kill her, like it was all planned. Like I said, that's how she gets ya. And so, like,
whatever she gets to the throne, I mean, whatever she has to do to get to the throne.
yeah.
So that's pretty much.
So, like, whenever he realizes that that's who is going to be his wife, and then he tells the king, he's like, I'm actually indebted to her. And so now I'm worried about, I mean, this is kind of skipping ahead a little bit to the predictions, but I'm worried about her actually gaining his trust and him explaining to her how they're going to kill Gui, and then her relaying this to Gui. But anyways, we'll back up in the discussions. Okay, we'll bring that back up in the predictions segment. Yeah.
I think My OMG moments this week weren't OMG moments. They were, oh my gosh, Melody was right moments. No lie. Like these past two episodes, I was like, Melody was right. Melody was right. I was like, she's right. Oh my gosh, she's
On what
right.
part?
I'm like, oh my goodness.
On what part, though?
Okay. So the fact that it was gonna be Jin, right? When you said in predictions, we're skipping ahead to predictions, but just when you said that, like that's where I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, she's right. I mean, now it's official that,
Yeah.
Young Sung is Sojing, right? But like we hadn't put it together yet, but it's finally been revealed that she's together. And then the thing you said about he has to be a human. A human, like Sungyeol is a human. And so he was telling the prince when he was strangling him in the woods, he was telling him, like, I kept my heart, like, I kept my humanity, that sort of thing. And then I'm just like, don't tell me Melody's gonna be right again. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I mean, okay, no, we'll bring that back up in predictions too. Never mind. But another oh my gosh moment I had, it wasn't really like an oh my gosh, really. It was like a really, oh my gosh, really, like one of those moments. Whenever they're in the hunting scene where they're hunting Gui, and everybody shoots at Gui all at once, and he dodges all of those bullets. But that one bullet that Hunter Vic shoots Gui in the shoulder, right? And so he gets shot in the shoulder, and he's like, oh, that hurts. But then he continues fighting everybody and their mama, like killing everybody, and with no problem at all. But then Sung-yeol had already like left to protect the king and the prince and the new princess. And so once Sung-yeol got done protecting all of them, Sung-yeol goes back to the courtyard to save Hunter Bake. And so he goes and picks up Hunter Bake or whatever and starts running off. And then all of a sudden, this gunshot is hindering Glee so much that he can't chase after Sung-yeol.
So I think it's the bullet itself, like the material it's made of, because you know how just kidding. I think anyone who's flying and all of a sudden gets shot, they're gonna fall to the ground. But you know how the Sung was like, it's not a normal bullet. I think it's it like causes the special abilities, like some of the special abilities in vampires, to like die. Like I think it stops them. Like it's like their kryptonite for some stuff. Yeah. Because as soon as he tried to like jump off the ground and fly, he couldn't do that. That's when his arm came back, like the pain came back in. But like his strength and everything else, that was still there. Yeah. Even though it was kind of weakened until he like ate the blood of people, and then it like, but he still couldn't because of that bullet shot. So I think it's like something that is in the bullet that caused that to not occur.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, like the American vampire stories where they get shot with the wooden.
Yeah. A silver bullet. Or no, that's a werewolf. I don't know. Anyway.
I thought it was a wooden in America. Isn't it a wooden? Okay, well, whatever.
I don't really know.
Anyway. Yeah, like willow wood or something. Like it's
it's a type of wood. I know it's wood. Yeah. I just can't remember what it was. Anyways.
Bring back the Vampire Diaries question.
Okay, so when recording Korean dramas like this, the directors will call out a good take by saying or a bad take by saying inji or no good. Which one would you give these two episodes, ladies?
There were like certain parts that just like kind of bored me, honestly, and I had my phone with me because I always have my phone with me. And so there are parts where I'd be like, oh, this is kind of boring. So I go on YouTube or something. And so I would get really distracted in life after the fact that I went on YouTube. And then, like, it would take some kind of, like, really good thing for me to get back into it. So overall, I would give it a print. But then there's, like, certain parts that I'm just like, no. So I really can't remember if, like, overall if it was, like, a no. because the parts that I remember, like most of the parts I remember, are the good parts. So I feel like there's more that I remember than I don't remember, but I really can't remember.
Perfect explanation.
But no, I totally understand you, Kat. You know, like it was funny because I was sitting here watching the episodes, and then I'm like texting, and then in a couple of moments I was playing Candy Crush, and then something like I'm like this, and then I'm like something good happens, like a smashing, and then I hear, oh, what's that? And then I'm like this with my phone. And I'm just like, staring at the TV screen, you know, because it's a good part. And then I put down my phone. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch now, right? But then a boring part comes up. My phone comes back. Da, da, da. So, I mean, yeah, I agree, Kat. I did the same thing watching these episodes. I had some moments where I was like, let's get over this part and get to the good stuff. And then when the good stuff came on, I was so happy because I was like, yes, I want some action. Yeah, let's get there. So I guess I would give these two episodes a print. I would say that, as Kat said, you know, like you watch it and you remember the good parts, you don't remember the bad parts because you don't remember them because you weren't paying attention. So, but they don't really matter because all the good parts made up for the fact that those boring parts were like there. So,
Yeah.
I guess I would say print but under review because I think we should review it so that the whole episode will be good versus like one part or something. I also think they really could have merged these two episodes together. I think 11 and 12 didn't need to be that long. They could have put everything that happened in episode 1 and I'm sorry, everything that happened in episode 11 and everything that happened in 12 could have just been together.
Yeah.
I think it was too much runaround. But
Yeah.
I will print both of them.
Yeah. I will print them mostly because it was so satisfactory to finally have everybody know that Young Sun is Jin and to have the maternal lineage found out. Like, everybody knows that Jin is the maternal lineage now. And yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was just satisfactory to get that finalization from those 2 points. Okay, so finally, we're at the predictions. We're talking about like Sung-Yul holding on to his humanity, and like it has happened in previous episodes, like when he bought the shoes for her and she was like super drunk and she didn't remember any of this or whatever, and you know, he was like getting closer. Well, his heart started hurting, like we heard like a thump thump, and it's like, wait a second, you're a vampire, that's not supposed to happen. So I feel like that's going to play back into him becoming a human at some point, because he obviously now has said that he's held on to his humanity. So maybe the fact that he's held on to his humanity and hasn't, because he says something about the vampire hunter or whatever is someone who hasn't harmed humans and has held on to his humanity. So maybe the fact that he has not actually gone after humans is what helps him become a human again later on, because we've already heard his heart thump at least once. And now that he's said all that, yeah, that's what I feel like. And then the daughter, the Myung-hui doppelganger, the new future queen of the land. I feel like it can go one of 2 ways with her. Either she can just play the role so well that she gains the prince's trust and ends up backstabbing him and revealing stuff to Gui later, or now that she's the queen or future queen, whatever, she doesn't need Gui anymore. So she can gain the trust of the prince as much as she wants and use that to backstab Gui in whenever it all comes around, because she's got what she needs. She has no use for Gui anymore, so she can be that inside information for the prince to be able to lure Gui to the final hunting grounds or whatever. Like,
That's what I'm hoping.
she can go either way, and I hope for that too, because I feel like we have moments of where she kind of cares for the prince in her own twisted way. So hopefully it gets to that where she kind of cares for the prince, and now that she has no use for Gui, why not help the prince? You know, why not help the guy that she somehow twistedly loves? You know, like, hopefully. Maybe I call that too, right, Sarai?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. At this point, Melody, I mean, you just get everything right. So I can't deny right now.
I'm a fortune teller. What can I say?
Kat, what is your predictions?
Oh, I forgot.
You forgot.
I think they're mostly the same as melodies, but I don't know. Like, I feel like Young Key's doppelganger. I will never learn her new name. I'm always gonna call her that. But I feel like now that she has what she wants, she really is gonna eventually help Lee out. But I also feel like after like we had the whole situation, like 수익현 몰라. The girl Songyar's henchman was helping, like, when she, after she saw, like, we kill everyone or whatever, she was still standing there after the fact and was just kind of, like, looking at him. So I feel like at some point she's gonna go and, like, help him, whether it's, like, helping him heal, like, in episode 13, maybe she's gonna, like, take care of him and make sure, like, he's okay or something. Like, I feel like something's gonna happen between her and Glee. Like, I don't know, like, just, it feels really weird.
Some hot and heavy romance.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It just feels like something's gonna happen. No. And then now that like both the prince and Sangyor know that Yeonsung is Jin, who is also the matrilineal lineage that they need, I feel like Sangyor is gonna try to find a way to extract her blood from her without killing her.
Yeah.
So that we can still eat her, like, drink her blood, because I think the king said, or someone said, like,
Yeah.
he has to, like, intake
That
his
was
blood.
an
And
oh my gosh
that.
moment.
So I feel like, oh yeah, that was also my own moment.
I forgot about that one. That one. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, I feel like he's gonna end up finding a way, and then the prince is gonna end up running away with Young Sun for at least a little bit, while Sangyor already, like, does what he needs to do with Lee, because Sangyor has said multiple times, like, once it's over, he's gonna, like, he doesn't want to live, like, he's done being a vampire. He's been done with being a vampire. So I feel like.
But wait,
wait. Let me finish. Let me finish. I feel like he's gonna take her blood and do that, but because it can also kill Lee, I feel like it can also make him into a human.
Oh, very true. Very true.
So I feel like at some point he's gonna put that together and he's gonna kill Glee with that, but then intake her blood, because he's already been attracted to that scent, her scent of blood. Like, whatever happened, like, it isn't. Obviously, he can control it at some points, because when that one guy was bleeding that he was trying to save, he wasn't vampiring out. Like, he was trying to help him. But anytime he tries to help Young Sun, he vampires out, like, real quick.
Yeah.
So I feel like that, like, her blood is a cure for him being a vampire and killing Glee. And so the prince is going to take Young Sun and flee for a little bit, and then eventually they're going to meet up and be a happy reunion.
But too, we see a foreboding line from the prince, because it was after he was choking him in the woods. the prince said, what about after you kill Gui? How can I trust that you're not gonna like become someone who wants to rule everybody just like Gui did? And he says, I plan on killing myself or something like that. And the prince says, don't kill yourself. I want you to live and make that girl happy, talking about Young Sun. So that's obviously, I mean, we already knew that somehow he was going to live forever, happily ever after with her because, I mean, we already know how K-dramas end, but it's the story of how we get there that we enjoy, you know? So that's the line that kind of forebodes that finally we see, yes, he will somehow live because the prince said, don't kill yourself. You need to live to make her happy because she loves you. So, yeah. But, yeah, I do like that maybe her blood has the opposite effect for him than what it does for Gui, which, again, can go back to the fact that he's never hurt humans because Gui, who has done nothing but harm humans, it could have that effect for a human killer, and someone who has not harmed humans, it would have the opposite effect. I can see how that's possible.
Oh, I was thinking totally different from you guys. And this,
What were you thinking, Sarai?
This is where my prediction comes in, I guess. But I was thinking, like, Romeo and Juliet, kind of, that she's going to find out, and then she's going to sacrifice herself to Glee, and then Sung-yeol is going to like sacrifice his self and his blood to save her. So he's gonna die just so he could save her because he wants her to live. And I don't know how it would end, but that's what I was thinking. Romeo and Juliet, one dies, the other one lives, and then the other one sees the other one dies, and then he wants to die too. That's what I was thinking.
I can also see where she would find out that she's the missing key, or she would find out that it's only her blood that can kill him, and acting off of like a knee-jerk reaction, she would just be like, to hell with it, let's do it, you know, let's go kill him. That way, Sung-yeol, that way my love can be free of, you know, worrying about Glee anymore. And somehow Sung-yeol's going to jump in and keep her from doing that. And still be able to kill Glee. Like, I can see how that's possible for sure.
Yeah, that was my prediction. And then I know I told you guys this prediction because it happened when I was editing last week's material.
Mm-hmm.
But our audience doesn't know, so I have to bring it to the audience's attention. Okay, so last week I know we were discussing about Gwee's love child.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had the prediction that Young Sung was his love child. I take that prediction back now, and I now think that Sung-yeol is his love child. I mean, to me it makes perfect sense because we don't really know much about his mom, and he is older, and, you know, he's been around many years, you know, so it could be possible that he is, you know. So that is my second prediction.
That thought crossed my mind for a fleeting moment, but for some reason the math wasn't working out, and then I was like, wait a second, that would be possible, because in the very beginning, Gwee's mentor, like, Sung-yeol is bit and turned by Gwee's previous mentor. And so Gui says something about to Young Sun, to Sung-yeol about, oh, you were turned by my mentor. I figured you'd be stronger than this, but you're not. And so whenever I remembered that line, it reminded me that Gui is much older than Sung-yeol. Whereas at first I was like, they're like the same age, but they're not. Mm-hmm. Now that I remember that line, they're not, because Gui was trained under that mentor before they even came across Sung-yeol. So yes, I see that's very possible too. All right, so that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, please. If you want to follow any of our reviewers, you'll find all of our links below. Also, don't forget to share with all of your other drama-loving friends. Come hang out with us next week as we review episodes 13 and 14. And remember, keep it dramatic. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so when recording Korean dramas like this, the directors will call out a good take by saying or a bad take by saying inji or no good. Which one would you give these 2 episodes, ladies? Not everybody answer at once.